My ex-girlfriend told me the girl I am with now sabotaged our relationship. I am really confused about the events of the last month. My ex Julie thinks that my current GF Mindy is manipulative and sabotaged our 4-year relationship. I was in a loving relationship with Julie for the last 4 years. We met through some mutual friends. Julie and I were very compatible in terms of our love for outdoor activities and running. We have very similar lifestyles and supported each other well for the last 4 years. We have also been living together for the last 3 years. We even discussed getting married during the summer. Everything was great and I was planning to propose to her over the holidays. However, I started to see changes in behavior in Julie around September. She was acting distant and looked stressed. It was quite noticeable and I was worried. I trust her with all my heart and I could not imagine she would be cheating on me. However, she did spend more time by herself. Around the same time, Julie's friend Mindy messaged me privately and asked me if I could meet her secretly, as she wanted to tell me something about Julie. Mindy and Julie work together and I have known Mindy ever since I started dating Julie. I was surprised, but to be honest, I assumed the worst. I met her at a cafe after work. She asked me if things were going okay between Julie and me. She told me that Julie told her that she was planning to leave me soon. This was a total shock to me. I asked her if there was anyone else that Julie was interested in and she told me no. Julie confided in her that she was not sure about marrying me. She told me she just had to tell me this as she did not want me to be blindsided. I was devastated. I started putting more effort into making our relationship more exciting and planning more dates, etc. Mindy was also helping me through this time, and telling me more about what Julie told her. Eventually, before Thanksgiving, Julie told me that she loved me, but she wanted to take a break for a month to live alone. She said that she just wanted to live alone for a month to make sure she wanted to marry me. I was completely heartbroken. I asked her if she wanted to pursue someone else. She told me that was not the case, and I better not do anything stupid either. She loves me with all her heart, but she just wants to stay away from me to make sure that she is marrying me for love, and not because she is used to being with me. I did not understand that at all. I told her that if she is not sure after 4 years, if she wants to marry me, then maybe we should just break up. We had a big fight and broke up after a few days. As our lease was ending, we decided to part ways in December. She got a new apartment and I kept our old apartment and just took her name off the lease. After the breakup, I was feeling very lonely, as I was not used to being in the apartment alone. I didn't want to keep on being sad and hence invited a bunch of friends for a New Year's party. I also invited Mindy. We had a good time, and my friends were doing their best to cheer me up. Mindy also mingled with my friends and it was good. Mindy decided to stay back to help me clean up and we hooked up that night. I felt guilty, but Mindy did cheer me up. Since then, we have hung out almost daily at my place. I am still sad about Julie, but I won't lie that being with Mindy does make me feel happy. She is sweet and caring. Last Sunday, we woke up and someone was banging on the door. I went to open it and it was Julie. She looked furious and started yelling at me. She kept on accusing me of cheating on her. I told her I most certainly did not cheat on her, and she was the one who broke up with me. Mindy was also at my apartment. Julie was just angry at both of us. She started calling Mindy a manipulative bitch and told me that Mindy was the one who suggested to her that she should take some time away from me to understand her true feelings. I calmed her down and asked her to explain herself. She told me that ever since our marriage talk, she told Mindy about it and Mindy kept on asking Julie if she was sure about marrying me. Mindy suggested she take some time to herself to understand her true feelings and that, I will understand and give her space. When I said no, Mindy convinced her that I was so controlling that I could not even give her 1 month to herself and convinced her to break up with me. Mindy told me that she did not say any such things, and these were all Julie's ideas and she was just there during these conversations. She did tell Julie that she told me about some of the things so that I get a chance to make things right with her over the last few months. That made Julie more angry and she started accusing me of emotionally cheating on her. Julie told me that the last few weeks have made her realize that we were meant to be together, but she now cannot believe I could move on from a 4-year relationship in a week. On one hand, I want to believe Julie, but she broke up with me for no fault of my own. Mindy was there for me when I was down, but now I also doubt her. She suddenly started talking to me out of the blue as we were never really close before, and immediately became my support after the breakup although Julie was her close friend. Am I the to emotionally cheat on Julie? Should I have told her about Mindy's texts? Should I have not moved on from her so quickly, even though Julie broke up with me? I was just hurting and Mindy was right there to support me. I need advice from someone with a clear mind on what the fuck is going on. Update. I posted last week regarding my girlfriend Julie accusing her friend and coworker Mindy of sabotaging our relationship. Julie broke up with me in December after a 4-year relationship, and Mindy reached out to me when I was feeling down. However, when Julie realized Mindy was talking to me, she confronted both of us last Sunday morning and told me that Mindy manipulated her to break up with me. The worst part was I was not thinking straight after the breakup and ended up hooking up with Mindy after a New Year's party. After the incident, I asked Mindy that I needed some time and did not meet her. Since then I made the following post on Reddit and had 3,000 people call me an idiot. My entitled dad wanted me to be a housewife. I grew up in a household that was basically a hellhole for both me and my mother. My father had 2 children before me and 2 children after me, all boys he had with my mom. And because I was born right in the middle, I was singled out for a lot of stuff. A few examples: my dad would often ask each of us what we wanted from the store as a reward for doing well in school. My brothers always got what they wanted. I hardly got what I wanted. On birthdays, my brothers got to see whatever movies they wanted. I never got to choose the movie I wanted to see. If I asked for something for Christmas, I more than likely wouldn't get it unless it was from another family member. Whenever one of us started doing badly in school, I would always get the biggest punishments while my brothers got off easy. My dad allowed my brothers to watch him when he cooked so they could learn. I had to learn how to use things like the freaking grill on my own. Dad would always come and support my brothers whenever they had an event. Whenever I had one, all I would get was constant criticism. The worst one by far is whenever my brothers got birthday or Christmas money, they'd spend it on candy, toys, clothes and stuff. I wasn't even allowed by my father to touch my money, and I counted from when I was 7 to when I was 15, I had over $800 in cash that I was denied. This got way worse when I entered middle school. My older brothers, Matt and Kyle, realized I was being left out and we talked about it with our little brothers, and now all of us include each other in our celebrations. But now, all of a sudden, my dad was constantly telling my brothers not to interact with me in any way and to pretend like I wasn't there. And then, all of a sudden my stuff started going missing. It started small with my pencil sharpener and a note card or something. Then, it escalated into my merchandise disappearing, and then my movies. And anything I bought with my own money would be gone the next day. Then, when I confronted my dad about it, he didn't deny what he did and said he threw it all away because I'm growing up to be a housewife that doesn't need that shit. I told him I don't want to be a housewife, I want to get a real job. He then sent me to my room. And as I entered high school, I found that my swimsuits had been thrown out, a few of my cool shirts had been thrown out and even my phone had been thrown out. When I found out that had been thrown out, I tried keeping it cool at school that day, but I just broke down in the middle of class. And when my parents found out about what happened, my dad kicked me out. My older brothers had graduated high school already and were living together to save money, so I went to stay with them. And I got therapy, and I eventually learned that my stuff wasn't thrown out. And that's when I learned the truth. My dad tried to throw it all out to groom me into becoming a housewife so he could marry me off to one of his coworkers. But when I broke down crying in school, he kicked me out so he didn't have to hear me because the moment I cried, he decided to abandon the plan, and cover his tracks. You might be thinking where my mom was in all this. She did everything she could to help me, but her own husband wouldn't listen to her. I was the middle child and he was entitled to everything regarding me because I'm his daughter, and if he wants this to be my life, this is my life. It's no wonder that me being kicked out led to them getting divorced. And if you're wondering about my little brothers, they want nothing to do with my dad and actively refuse to go to his house. And moving in with Matt and Kyle was easily the best decision I made. I learned that all my stuff was saved from the dumpster and put in a storage facility, and I got most of my stuff back, and the clothes that didn't fit me we sold by holding a yard sale. Matt and Kyle's backyard also had a pool and hot tub, and I was finally able to experience them in a bikini. Thanks to help from Mom and my little brothers. When I graduated, we celebrated it at Matt and Kyle's house. The whole family was there. Except for Dad. He got arrested for a DUI car crash after being high on marijuana, and has been in jail for a few years now awaiting trial. Good. Fuck him. I'm now moved out of Matt and Kyle's house, as they rent a house for me, which of course had a pool and a hot tub. So, to my dad, fuck you for being absolutely awful as a parent, and fuck you for being terrible to me because I was born in the middle. Am I the asshole for not picking the name of my mother-in-law's husband to be the name of my baby? I am pregnant with my fiancé's child. This is our first child, so we're pretty excited. We've chosen to keep the gender a secret and just buy clothes we think are cute. Both our friends have new babies, so if we pick out a dress and it's a boy, we can just give it away, no waste. It's been so much fun, but 3 days ago it kind of changed. I was with my mother-in-law, let's call her Helen, and she was asking us about baby names, and suggested a few. Theodore, Jackson, Lars, and her persistent favorite, Son. I was confused when I heard it, but apparently it was her late husband's name. He died when my fiancé was 5 due to an overdosing of pills. So she suggested we call him that. I responded, what if it's a girl? And no offense, but that name is really uncommon, and very special. It kind of came out wrong, and then she started getting snarky with me. It's a boy, I can tell, she said, rubbing my stomach with consent, also with her knowing I'm sensitive to touch due to aspersors. I brushed her hand away and suggested, how about Sean? She showed the most disgusted face. No, we need an American name, not Irish. You're not Irish anymore, you're American. I looked at her dumbfounded. I was literally born and raised in Cork before moving at 19. She knows this. But I tried to suggest another to move on. How about Asha? She looked at me disgustedly. My baby is a boy. A boy. She yelled louder. I tried to calm her down. Okay, how about Leo? That apparently was her breaking point. That's when it happened. She took the cup of coffee she had and threw it at me. It was hot I tell you. I quickly got up and left immediately. I didn't want to stay there any longer. I stopped by a McDonald's to clean myself up. I drove home after that and told my fiancé. He was shocked and immediately went to tell his mother off. And of course this is where the crocodile tears come. She threatened me. She said I'd never be able to meet my grandbaby if I didn't butt out and let her pick the name after I suggested your father's name, she cried. My fiancé says he's unsure of who to believe. He said that even if I was telling the truth, I shouldn't have riled her up and that her late husband was the love of her life. It would mean so much if we named our baby after him. He's on the couch. Am I being too harsh? Are my over-the-top pregnancy hormones taking over my sweet and kind personality? Tell me, am I the asshole? Update. Apparently my story was posted on TikTok and my husband saw. He went up to me, he looked angry. I asked him what was wrong and he showed me the post. Oh geez, I thought, he's gonna be upset, but as I looked up at him he began to cry, and cry so my more. I tried to talk to him but he was a complete mess. He just left. After a few hours he returned, he gave me this bag and it had a dress in it. It was a beautiful and expensive dress. He told me to put it on and that we were going out on a date. He's never taken me out on a fancy date like this before. He had a smile. I didn't want to bring up what happened but I can tell this is all because of the insane amount of guilt he felt by reading those comments. The whole night he showered me in compliments and treats, even taking me to a ring shop to buy me stuff. Now I know that physical stuff doesn't take away from the emotional torment tag happened but I can tell he feels guilty. I'm preparing to talk to him after work tomorrow about it all. I thank you all for your concerns. Edit. The comments are sounding the same as they did last time, with the addition to love bombing. I appreciate the feedback, it really helps. Smiling face with smiling eyes. I have no intention of leaving my husband. He's my hubby and I love him. I know that he just tried to give me a nice day out with expensive things because he isn't good with talking about things, but I'm definitely going to have a nice long chat about our future. But things haven't been chilled from there. 2 days ago Helen called, asking to come over for some tea. Like we used to. I told her that I had nothing more to do with her. We're done. And if she tries to come near me or my husband again I will in fact take what she did to me to court. She sounded pretty defeated. I know I didn't really say anything smart or cool but I felt awesome. But then. Well, here's the conversation from how I remember is. Helen, hey Opie, can we have tea later today? I feel really bad about what I did. Honestly, I was just in a bad mood. But you have to understand how you set me off. How about around 2:30 p.m.? Opie, no Helen. No. I'm done interacting with you. Helen, what? Opie, I just don't feel comfortable around you. Me and my fiancé have spoken. A lot. And we've decided that we don't want to talk with you anymore. We will come to Maisael's birthday, but we won't be having any casual conversation or interacting. We just think it's for the best. Helen, but I didn't even try dash. Opie, no Mill. If you even try to go against me and my fiancé's wishes we will take you to court for your little stunt. Helen, stunt? What stunt? Opie, the stunt about what you did to me. Helen, what? Opie, the coffee. Helen, oh. That was no stunt, I was just angry. You know how I get hon, Opie, God you're obtuse. Just don't talk to us. This isn't up for negotiating. Helen, ugh fine. I don't need to talk to you. My son will talk to me though. Opie, okay. Helen, your husband doesn't drive anymore though. Opie, what? Helen, how will he drive to drop off the baby to me when he can't drive? I don't want to have to go up and back in my car, not with the way gas prices are now, you know? Opie, Mill you dash. Helen, and how soon after the baby is born will I get to take him? I was thinking when you and my son leave the hospital, you'll be tired so I can come to take him for a few hours, sound good? Opie, huh? Helen, did it disconnect? Opie, are you? What? Mill, huh? Opie, I'm not letting you around my baby. Helen, stop being silly, it's just as much my baby as it is yours. Opie, no, it's mine and fiancé's baby. That's it. I can't believe you'd think for a second that I'd even have you see my baby. You're not even allowed supervised visits. Helen, stop it up. Did you take your medication? You know how you are when you don't take your meds. Are you even fit to take care of the baby? I can really help. I promise. Just let me come over for tea and we can arrange everything. I just want to help. I love you and my grandson. Opie, no. Just fucking no. Then I hung up, my fiancé rushed downstairs after I screamed that last part. I told him what happened in frustrated tears. He was just as infuriated. He was going to call her up, but I begged him not to. So he showed me a small text he sent to her, confirming everything I said that he was on board with. And never under any circumstances to contact him. Then he blocked her and took me out. I'm still so annoyed at the audacity. Is this even real?